I was watching a skateboard video today, and I like when they do the slow-mo, like right at the end of the trick when everyone at like the spot is going, woo, and it goes, whoa. Okay, so we're going to talk about hierarchy. So the first thing I'm going to say, and I think that we've talked about this a little bit before, but like hierarchy is like, first off, if someone ever says to you, improve the hierarchy, they basically mean, I'm looking at this thing, I don't know what it is, I have no point of entry. So what they're basically saying is everything on this page looks the same, but since it's not a novel, it's not clear to me that I'm supposed to start at the top and work my way down. So like that's like what improve the hierarchy always means, is like I don't understand what I'm looking at. The other part of that would be that the hierarchy is like not this complicated thing. Like once you sort of understand that part of it, that it's basically about like breaking down what's happened, like what the information is, then it's not difficult to know what to do next. And so, and we'll start with a quote. A typographic hierarchy expresses the organization of content, emphasizing some elements and subordinating others. A visual hierarchy helps readers scan a text, knowing where to enter and exit and how to pick and choose amongst its offerings. So that's from Thinking with Type. And that's why Thinking with Type is a great book. So let's apply this a little bit. So this is a, I don't know if it's an advertisement or a poster, but it's by Jan Tschichold, who at one point literally wrote the book on typography. And the point that I'm going to try to make is that if you just made really rational, logical decisions about the content, you'd make something that looked interesting. That the worst thing that you can do is to try to be interesting first and then force the content into like a predetermined shape. So this is this advertisement for course listings at a college. I can't read German, but I can figure out enough of these words to determine that. And what I think is interesting is like, you can see relationships between information pretty quickly. Like, we have this thing, blah, 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 and then you try to pronounce that, Basel. Winter semester, 1937 to 38, and then you end up with these things that say, like, October 1937, October 1937, so these are dates, I can't remember now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But like, even without speaking German, you can start to see the relationships between content. And then that everything that's happening in here that's cool is basically a result of just lining up certain bits of information and breaking out other bits. So one thing I really love that's like super subtle, but the dates are just justified against the edge of the date at the top. So like, boom, they form this nice little organization, and then this thing comes down, it's justified against the bottom. So there's like this whole little square of like related information. And then when you get into these subsections, it's like times, course listing, and then I think a description of what you're taught in the course. So this nice thing that's slicing right through here, that alignment, is just an organizational principle. It does this awesome thing of like having this nice negative space that slices through, but ultimately that's just a way of separating times from other information, and then like once you see that, you can just kind of scan through it really quickly. And I'm just going to operate from the assumption that like everyone understands that this looks awesome.